Welcome back to the Journeyman Guitarist. I want to talk about 5 things I've learned in the first month since I've been actively pursuing a YouTube channel. One of the things that has really popped up again and again and again is how much the YouTube universe or getting out there in the creator space relates to having a career or a long-term career, or as I like to say, being a journeyman in the music business. My career has been very long. Embarrassingly long. I have been playing professionally for around 40 years. So that's a long time. And I'm still doing it, and I'm still loving it. And jumping into the YouTube space for me was just another way to continue this career, expand the career. Uh, it's a changing world out there, and that's where I really came up with a few things I want to talk to you about, especially if you're a musician. Um, Keeping a 40-year career going has not been easy. There's been a lot of ups and downs, and starting a YouTube channel has not been easy. It's only been 4 or 5 weeks, and already there's been some real ups and downs. But I have to admit, when I sit back and I look at the whole thing, the first month has been a success, a real success. I've increased my subscribers to my YouTube channel by 50%. Numbers wise, I mean, if you look at Mr. Beast or some of the other YouTubers, hey man, it ain't that many numbers. But for me, a 50% increase in the subscribers to my channel from 4 to 5 weeks ago, that's a success. Which brings me to the first point of being a musician and a YouTuber, or whatever this is. I don't know what you call it, but a musician who's trying to expand his reach out on YouTube. And that is defining success and redefining yourself. I've got things written down. I don't know if you've known this, if you've ever noticed this, but I also have a dog, and she's here with me a lot. Now, let me see her. There she is. That's a little sriracha. So from time to time, she interrupts. Go. Okay. All right, so I wrote some things down. I don't want to go too long. So defining success. In a 40-year career, the amount of times that I've had to just stop what I was doing, look around, and go, what the hell, man? You're not making any money. This gig sucks. You got to move on and do something else. And people would come to me and say, well, do you want out? Are you going to get out? And I would take a look, and I would be like, no, I don't want out. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the dog out. Hang on. All right, she's out. The music business, it goes up and it goes down. And one of the ways I've been able to survive is to do a lot of different things. And at some point, I want to get into that. I want to get into all the different crazy things I've had to do just to stay alive in the music business. I mean, life happened, you know. I had a child very young. I was only 25 years old, 24 years old. I was kind of living in a van when all that happened. I was touring with a bunch of guys, and that was our world, man. We lived in vans and hotels. We played 6 and 7 nights a week, and all of a sudden, I was going to have a child, and that defined a path for me. I didn't want to quit the music business, but I knew that to take care of her, I was going to have to alter the things that I did. So many times in my life, I've had to redefine and take a new path to keep it going, to keep making a living, and to keep playing. And here I am today, 40 years later. So defining your success, redefining yourself, you got to be flexible, you got to be resilient. Some days it's going to really suck, and some days you're not going to feel good about yourself. But then other times, if you get through that, you can find out that, man, you'd be really glad you did, and you're still playing. The other thing I've learned about YouTube and how it relates to the music industry is it's very technical. I had some basic video skills. I work a day gig from time to time, like almost every day, as well as playing. And some video skills are required for that day gig. And I had no idea how they would translate to the YouTube universe. And I did what I've always done with any gig. I just said yes, and I jumped in, and I started Googling and YouTubing and finding out the different things. And it's the same thing on a gig. There were many gigs where I just said yes to them, and I didn't think I should have, but it always worked out. And it's the same thing in this YouTube thing. It's growing, And like, I hope you'll stay on the journey with me because it's kind of fun. So anyway, you got to have some technical knowledge. So the other thing is there's the human side to this. One of the things that keeps driving me as a player, as a performer, and one of the things that I don't stop live work. I don't ever stop live work because of this reason. I like people. I like meeting people. I like talking to people. And one of the things I've always done as a player when I'm out there is try and meet the people that are coming to the gigs. And there's, when COVID happened, I was gigging a few nights a week back then locally, and every now and again I'd pick up a national, do something, And man, that ended, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. And then, I had some other issues right after COVID that shut me down from, some health issues that shut me down from live work for a little while. And it was gut-wrenching, man, not to be able to be engaged with the people that I would meet. I've got friends all over the world. I've got friends that, heck, man, I mean, if I hadn't seen them in 10 years, if I see them tomorrow, it would be like I saw them yesterday. And it's kind of the way I live my life. And one of the things I've noticed in the 4 weeks of YouTube is how many people will leave a comment and how many people will reach out and say something nice. And one of the things I've done is I've put some of my music on the sites, and some of the clips of live performances that I've done with some of the bands I've toured with. And it's nice to see people connecting with all these different things and leaving comments and reaching out privately and going, hey, John, I met you in 2002 and you were at this gig in Stockholm. And, and it's like, wow, man, oh my God, I remember, and just so being able to connect to those people again, my friends from the past, but even more than that, people that have discovered the videos through the recommendations and who are just saying, hey, I agree with you, man. I like that. I like what you did there. I like the way you presented that. And just being able to kind of maybe respond when I can, but to have that connection, those nice comments, I mean, that's important to me. And I think I'm really looking forward to going back out with Vertical shortly, because the combination of being out with Vertical and being out in the world, in the space on YouTube is it's going to fill my soul, if you want to know the truth. I love it. I love meeting people, and that's one of the things that the YouTube universe excites me to do, is to get out there, even online, and make connections and meet people. So if you see something you like, write me, say hello. The other thing I've noticed that really helps is to do this, you kind of gotta have a partner. And I'm lucky, my wife is really smart and just cute. And we've been together like 24 years. And when I decided to jump into this YouTube thing, she's very analytical. And she said, yeah, man, let's do this. And so she jumped in to the analytical side of it and found out some of the things that I needed to know about YouTube that I didn't know, and the way it works. And it reminded me of having a partner that I've been working with. And it reminds me, I work with this guy named Mark Prater. You're going to hear his name a lot through the years, through this channel. And you're going to see him because he's working with Vertical Horizon now. And Mark is a drummer and an engineer, and he's a monster at both. We started playing together in 1980. I started playing with him and his brother in a band. And my audition song was, wait for it, Xanadu by Rush. That was my audition. And when we got to the end of that song, we knew we had to play together. Mark was this beast, man. He would just sit in this hot, sweaty room with no air conditioning for hours and hours and hours with a cup of coffee, playing and playing and playing. I was like, yeah, I'm going to play with that guy. And that was almost 44 years ago, and we're still working together. We owned a recording studio together for many years. We have played all over the world together. He's played on all of my albums. As a matter of fact, if you just troll the YouTube site and check out any of the tracks, that's his playing on drums. He's also a master engineer, and you're going to hear a lot of what we did together. He engineered it. And he was kind of in that legendary death metal scene. because the band I was in through the 80s that he was in with me, we kind of ended in 91, and he got a job working at More Sound Studios, and More Sound Studios was just getting into that whole death metal groove. And he worked with all those guys. He worked with all those bands and all through that era, and then him and I had a studio together, and now he is back engineering at More Sound. He is also engineering for Vertical Horizon. So 44 years of us being a partner and 24 years of me being a partner with my wife. They, you know, she's helping me with the YouTube stuff, and she's always helped with the career as well. And, you know, Mark and I were in lots of bands together. We've had this long-term partnership. And, you know, it was just so similar. I found, you know, when I did the YouTube thing, I really needed her. And just like I've needed him all these years in working together. You know, just being on YouTube has been a positive reinforcement. You know, imposter syndrome is a real thing. You watch YouTube, and I go out there, I watch the cats, man. Let's face it. You know, I'm watching Tim Pierce, you know, Tom Bukovic, Brett Papa, all those guys, you know, Brett Schull, Rick Beato, all of them. I'm out there, I watch them because, you know, I love playing, and I love watching them play, and I love learning from them. I'm even on TrueFire.com. I go on TrueFire.com, and I get lessons from all the people on there. So I use this thing for my own playing, because even after all these years, I'm still chasing something. You know, I'm still chasing. You know, I want to be a better player. You know, I want to. So when you watch these guys, though, and they've got these massive followings, and they're such just world-class musicians, and you look at yourself, imposter syndrome will kick in, and you'll say to yourself, "What have I done? You know, what have I got to offer?" And then you have to really take a hard look and go, "Well, you know what I have to offer? I have to offer what I bring to the table." It reminds me, I was in the competitive shooting sports for many years, and you know, one of the old guys said to me one day when I was trying to get started, he says, "You know, just shoot what you brung, boy. Just shoot what you brung." And it stuck with me. I'm like, okay. And I started, and I just was shooting the crappy gun that I had, and I got into the sport, and I grew. And so kind of right now on YouTube, you know, I've got a lot of experience. I've done thousands and thousands of gigs. I've played with some amazing players and been friends with some amazing people. And that's what I've got. That's what I can bring. So, you know, when you shoot, if I shoot what I brung, that's what I've got to offer. Is a lot of years of experience and stories. I've got some great stories. So anyway, I just, you know, I wanted to throw that out there because it was such a great connection between a career in music and a career in YouTube. And it's really exciting for me now that I'm opening a new door with the YouTube to get back out there, get my music, you know, into a new arena and meet some more people that I wouldn't have had access to had I not taken the time and put the effort in to jump into the YouTube space. So I hope you'll join me on the journey. The Journeyman Guitarist, John Wesley, signing out. See you around soon.